Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Hump Day. Let's go. Thank you for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. This show has had a lot of ins and outs and behind the scenes. I tell you, do you ever stumble across a video that doesn't just grab your attention, it grabs your breath? That was me the first time I saw Adam Lockwood, aka Nuisance, climbing a skyscraper like it was a jungle gym or a crane. No ropes, no permission, just intention. This wasn't a daredevil. This was something different. The kind of calm you can't fake. The kind of climb that makes you wonder what he's running from or running toward. Since then, Adam's climbs have taken him to the tops of some of the most iconic structures in the world and deeper into the minds of people quietly battling something you don't always see from the ground, their mental health. This is a guy who turns danger into message, art into impact. From GoPros to grainy Polaroids, his work leaves something behind that's raw, grounded, and weirdly beautiful. And while the headlines may just be catching up to his latest climb, he posted this week of his climb and jump off of the freaking Eiffel Tower in Paris. Crazy, because when it happened a week plus ago, I can't believe I didn't see it on the news then. It almost makes me wonder if the French didn't want it to be there. So with him posting this finally, I mean, it's definitely public and out there now. Not every day, I tell you, someone successfully climbs and base jumps off of the Eiffel Tower. This conversation that we're going to hear happened all before that. And that's what makes it so wild, because when you listen close, you realize he was already on the climb. He was already in the air. Can't wait to introduce you again to Adam Lockwood coming up on the show. All right, before we get into that, this is cool. Sunset Magazine just dropped its 2025 travel awards, and the Central Coast, well, SoCal showed up big time. Out of the 5 spots named where to go, beautiful beaches, they're right in our own backyard. Montecito, Avila Beach, and good old Pismo. Pismo got love for its surf, restaurants, and the whole, kind of classic California vibe. Avila Beach was praised for its trails, bike paths, the hot springs, and that always packed Friday Farmers Market. And Montecito got the nod for its lush gardens, the fresh restaurant scene, the beaches, of course. And rounding out the list, Carlsbad and Ventura County Coast. But let's be real, 3 out of the 5, that's a huge win for the Central Coast. And it wasn't just the beaches. Hotel Californian was highlighted as a coastal gem, and our own Hotel Slow landed in the Wine Country Escapes category. All told, Sunset Magazine gave out awards in 29 categories this year, everything from cruises to Hawaiian resorts. So yeah, I mean, travelers already know it, but Sunset Magazine confirmed it. Central Coast, SoCal is where it's at, baby, yeah. All right, before we get into our chat with Adam Lockwood, I'm excited about it. Let me tell you about our friends at Life Elements. These guys are hidden in the back corner of a plaza in Atascadero, a woman literally practicing wellness alchemy. Life Elements, where you can walk in, see things being made in real time. Everything small batch, cruelty-free, made with real healing in mind. Martha is just absolutely amazing. In addition to their spot in Atascadero, you can shop their products at The Hive in Arroyo Grande. Also, the General Store downtown Paso. But I tell you, you got to get in there, meet them. Martha and Kurt are absolutely great people. 7425 El Camino Real, Suite O, back right corner of the plaza. Can't miss it. Big, huge sign, Life Elements, or get to lifeelements.com. Shop their products from anywhere. Use the promo code ADAM, ADAM, at lifeelements.com. Save 15% with that promo code ADAM. Get to lifeelements.com and let your wellness meet its maker.
It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guest today goes by the name Nuisance, but what he's doing is anything but noise. Adam Lockwood is a world-renowned urban climber, free solo climber, base jumper, known for scaling some of the tallest structures on Earth, completely unassisted, without ropes, without permission. I mean, from whether it was climbing the tallest building in Western Europe, London's The Shard, climbed the damn thing barefoot. We'll talk about that. I think went to the largest climbing wall in Europe, climbed the building to get up to the wall, then climbed the wall when it was closed with no one there, no ropes, no nothing. Skyper in Germany, the tallest building in France, done, check. It's crazy. He moves with intention, with precision, and with a kind of quiet purpose that almost turns fear into focus. His work, because yes, this is work, it isn't just about thrill, it's about message. It's about mental health. It's about stillness in chaos. Whether he's clinging to cranes in Dubai or stepping off steel into the sky, he's creating a visual language, part rebellion, part poetry, but it is all heart. This is a conversation we had before the world saw his latest headline-making jump off the Eiffel Tower. Videos, I'll put it in the show notes. You got to check it out. Put links to his Instagram. Unbelievable. I'm proud to welcome back to the show, Adam Lockwood. Thank you so much, man, for being Up and Adam. So tell me how you kind of aligned this passion, these talents with this message surrounding mental health.
Sort of just put into perspective sort of the value of life and the fact that it's such a big problem that men face specifically. And yeah, it's just it just speaks to me, and it's quite relevant to me as well. With my history and I just want to make a difference, and the only way I know how to do that is climbing and doing this sort of stuff. So it just sort of makes sense for that to, be put together, I think.
I think about it is like before a building even sees your fingerprints, there's like this just quiet. There's this silence. There's you, your stuff, if whatever you got on. Maybe, I don't even know if you get a shaky breath right before, but that moment feels like something right before like a symphony is going to start. It's incredible. What's the very last thought that goes through your mind when you take that first step off the ground and make your way up on something?
Yeah. The thing you said about the symphony, it's sort of like if you're in like a concert hall and the lights dim and you know what's about to happen and then the music starts, it's exactly the same as that. The moments before it's a lot of stress and anxiety and just trying to calm yourself down. But the second I touch the building or whatever it is, it all just goes away, and it's just full focus, and it's fucking beautiful.
People see adrenaline, obviously rebellion, but those who really watch you and get to know what you're about, they see intention. Every frame, every fingertip, it's all precise, it's all like alive. What's one misunderstood part of what you do that you wish people truly got?
The adrenaline. People assume that it's like a massive adrenaline rush and it's like this some crazy extreme thing, but I've never climbed a building or anything and felt even close to having adrenaline. It's all calm and controlled and focused, and it's just people assume that it's adrenaline because I get it, because it's crazy, and normal people would look at that and think, holy shit, that's like I think people look at it from their perspective of if they were doing it, they would have adrenaline. But for me, it's the complete opposite. If I have adrenaline, either something's gone wrong or I'm like trying to escape from something and, tensions are high and you need to, it just sort of happens. But it's very, very hard for me to get adrenaline. So yeah, that's one thing that's probably the biggest thing that people misunderstand about it. People think that, you've just like a spur of the moment thing. They don't see the planning, they don't see the training, they don't see anything that goes on behind the scenes. They just see the action. They don't see all the behind the scenes. And that's what I want to sort of showcase more now.
Talk about all the different ways that you document your climbs, because from the cameras to the drones and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, Polaroids. Like, why Polaroids? What did you see in that kind of retro click, that became kind of a signature from some of your summits?
That started probably summer 2022. I got a used, like an Instax camera, and I took a couple of pictures. I'd never used one before, and I took a couple of pictures. And I just thought, fuck, that's really cool. Because it's not edited, it's not, it's not changed in any way. Whatever you take is what you get, and you can't change it. And you also get a physical thing, so that's the only copy of that picture that you can get. So now Polaroids are like a really big part of what I do, because you can take a picture on your phone or on a camera and then go and edit it and change it however you want. But with a Polaroid, you physically can't do that unless you take a picture of it and then edit afterwards. But it's not going to change the actual picture. So that's it's just raw, and I think it's my favorite format of capturing something.
So when did you kind of first realize that maybe climbing, going up, whether it's that first chimney or whatever it was, made whatever chaos was happening down here, it made it quieter? When did that start to become a thing for you?
Straight away. I think the first time I ever climbed something in my hometown 8 years ago, nearly 9 years ago. It's just, you can't hear anyone, you can't see anyone, no one knows you're up there, and you can just sit and look around, and it's like another world, and it's pure. It's pure. It's very pure.
When did you go from climbing and, having a way down, whether you climbed your way down or got down the stairs, whatever you were doing, when did it go from like, no, I'm going to jump down?
Well, I always knew base jumping was a thing, and I always thought, wow, that's really cool. But I've never been a skydiver. I'd never done any sort of sport like that. And to get into base jumping, you have to, follow all the steps, and it's kind of expensive. And then it just sort of worked out that I started base jumping last year, and now I'm putting 2 and 2 together because it's even bigger and even better. So yeah, it's just natural progression, I think, for me. And then even now, base jumping, the next step is wingsuits and jumping off hot air balloons, stuff like that. And I want to get into skydiving as well. I'm not trying to rush the process. And with base jumping, I've took all the steps that I need to do it safely. And I'm going to do that with wingsuiting as well.
Wow, man. What's the scarier part of it for you? Is it climbing up, or is it the jump off, or are they equal in none of it? I don't know.
The climbing up's the same as it always has been. Like, it doesn't scare me at all. I'm a good climber. I know what I'm doing. Like, the height doesn't scare me at all. But with base jumping, you're relying on equipment, and you're relying on yourself packing right and doing the jump right and planning it out properly. So the biggest things for me with base jumping, it isn't the actual jumping. It's, have I packed right? Have I got a proper landing spot? Am I doing it in the right weather conditions? Stuff like that. So I think my favorite part about base jumping is when you jump and you pull, you just have to wait. You have to wait for your canopy to come out, and those few seconds in between pulling and your canopy coming out is probably my favorite part, I think.
How long is that time?
It depends. So if you jump and it's maybe 1 or 2 seconds delay before you pull, your canopy is going to come out and inflate in 5 seconds, 4 seconds maybe, and probably even less than that.
Yeah.
But if you jump much higher and you have more delay, then it takes a little bit longer, just to sort of soften it a little bit. But yeah, I think that's my favorite part.
Like, does it feel like it just catches you? Is it a really jarring feeling, or does it feel kind of nice? Like, or does it hurt? Like when you go, feel like when it catches you?
It doesn't hurt, but it all depends on what the jump is and how much delay you have. So, for example, if you go slide it down and you do 2-3 second delay and you open, it's not hard, but it's quick. But if you go slide it down 5 seconds, it's going to whip you more. And then if you go much higher and you go slider up, it opens much softer, and it's actually quite relaxing, and it's quite soft. So yeah. But with my rig, I bought it from a guy who's taller than me. So my chest strap, and I found this out in France a couple of months ago. My chest strap came up and choked me out, like when I opened, and it really hurt. So now I have my chest strap really loose, so that it doesn't do that. But that's pretty much it. It can hurt if you do it wrong or if you do a certain type of delay, but generally it's fine.
What was that building that you just jumped off of and your parachute like got caught on a light pole?
That was my first building, my first solo jump, tallest building in France. I climbed the crane on that building about 14 months ago. And I wanted my first building last time I was in France, and that was the one that I wanted. And then, so I jumped, it all went fine, but where I'm supposed to land is in the street, and the lampposts, I didn't realize they were so close, so I had to sort of aim it. And I landed fine, I stood it up, and then just the corner of my canopy got caught on the post as I was still running. Kind of a big rip, which I got fixed last week. And now I'm jumping again, so it's all fine.
Wow. Yeah. So how much is that expensive to fix a rip like that?
That was £100. So not expensive. But I know people that have landed in trees and had loads of holes and stuff, and it can be expensive, but I think I got pretty lucky with it. But all things considered, that jump went pretty well.
Yeah, it was perfectly, beautifully. How much control do you have when you're going down? I want to go left, right. How can you control how fast you're coming in? How much do just the wind of where you're going affect that?
The wind is very, very important. So the jump that I did on the building, it was not too windy to jump, but near the bottom, it got a little bit side to side. So when I was coming in on the straight to land, I was sort of going left and right, trying to keep it in line. But the jump that I did yesterday morning, zero wind. I had all the control I could possibly have, and it was a big open space as well. So, but it's not too bad. Just depends on the wind.
Yeah.
Some canopies are made for like accuracy, and some are made for speed. And mine's probably the industry standard for like the most, like one of the most common canopies you can have. And it's very well respected, and it's very, very good for what it is. But it's good for everything, but it's not great for anything. You know what I mean? But then you get some canopies that are made specifically for accuracy, which are very good control, and they have different intakes and stuff like that. But yeah, mine does the job.
So let's talk about what we're planning, what we can talk about right now, and why we're doing it.
So yeah, it's climbed this like years ago, and every single year it just never worked out. So now all of this is for the good of a lot of people and to get the message across. So yeah, it's taken a long time to get to where I am now, but I'm gonna make it happen no matter what.
And what we want to do, a climb and a jump, is that right?
Yeah, I want to climb, and I want to jump, and I want to get away, because that's never been done before. But it's not as easy as just walking up, going, jumping. It's in a very, very busy area, very, very, very famous place, and it's quite complicated. But I've spent the best part of 18 months planning this out to every last little detail. And I just cannot wait to get it done.
How take me into that side of this? You know, I mean, like the planning on the approach to it. How deep do you get? Are you looking at like blueprints? Are you? I mean, is it like a movie? I mean, what are some of the plannings that you got to do when you're taking on a new climb?
Well, when you climb a building, you don't need to do much. You just need to look at the facade of the building and know that it's climbable. And you need to know if you can go from the side to the top, because there are some buildings in the world that you can climb and then it stops maybe 5 meters at the top and then you have to climb down. But obviously with the base jumping, that doesn't matter because I can just jump off. But with this project, it's a lot of security and police and in the city, so it's more complicated. And I'm trying to figure out where to land and how I'm gonna present it and where the cameras are gonna film from and where I'm gonna escape. And it's big.
So, and I've been following you, for many years now, and we first talked years ago. But just the idea, like it's really evolving, and a lot of people are taking notice. I mean, from the different videos on you, the articles. I mean, what do you think of like that kind of aspect of where like, oh, people are starting to figure this out. They're starting to learn, that I'm doing this for a reason, and getting some eyes and ears.
Well, when I first started with the whole social media thing, and I don't have a problem saying this, but I think I did it very wrong. And I would do things more for like shock value and trying to sort of get people's reactions and stuff. And then I got shit on quite a bit and people like called me out for it and I listened to them. And now it's very, very different to the way I do things now. Everything I do has like a meaning or a purpose towards it, and it's all presented much better, and it's not stupid anymore. It's more focused and controlled. But the whole thing about social media is, in a perfect world, social media wouldn't exist, but it does, and it's a tool that I can use to share my experiences and explain why I'm doing things. So yeah, I want to do it right. And that's what I've been doing for a while now. And I don't want to go back to what I used to be like.
What are some of the reasons you'll contemplate perhaps some of the consequences for what you're willing to do, but you still are like, you're still thirsty for it?
Well, different places have different consequences, and doing different things have different consequences wherever you go. The way I look at it, and I'll give you the Shard for an example, the reason why I did it, I knew I was going to go to jail anyway because of all my legal problems. That was because of the way I used to act, and with my family stuff and etc. But that consequence wasn't relevant at the time because that was going to happen anyway. So I thought, well, okay, that's basically a free pass for me to do that because the consequences are going to be the same. But now I look at things and think, okay, if I do this could happen. Is it worth doing that? Is there a meaning behind it that can justify why I'm doing it? And with this project, I know the possible consequences, and I think I'm pretty confident that it is worth doing anyway. Even if I get caught and even if I get banned from the country for however many years, like it's bigger than me. So I'll deal with it. I'll go to Asia or America or wherever. But yeah, that's the way I look at things now.
So there's definitely more intent. Definitely more intent.
Yeah, 100%. So I've done a lot of things in the past that I've got in trouble for that were definitely not worth it. That were just spur of the moment things and just trying to get shock value and just be a bit stupid and reckless. But now I don't want to do that. I look at all aspects of everything, so that I can justify why I'm doing it.
What was some of the crazier things that you saw on your way up the Shard? I mean, there was an article I read where husband and wife, like they were in bed. It's like, oh, okay. What kind of crazy stuff did you see on the way up?
The first thing I saw was a cleaner who was cleaning one of the offices. I just waved and carried on. She didn't really seem to care. And then maybe around the 60th floor, I saw Paul and his wife just in their hotel room. She was just sat up, probably watching the sunrise. And so she was on my left, and as I was climbing, I could like notice that there were people there. And I think I looked over and then just carried on. And then she got a video, and Paul did a live interview that morning about it, basically saying that he loved it and he thought it was really good what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then the police were following after that on different floors, and I went past one floor, and there was probably 10 officers in the window looking at me, like telling me to come in, and I just gave them a thumbs up and carried on, because there's nothing I could have done or them, because there's no way into the building from there. So all I needed to do was tell them I'm okay, because that's their priority is making sure that I'm okay. I understand this. So I just give them a thumbs up and just carried on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the only people that I saw. I'm sure there was more people that I went past.
When you got to the top, I can't remember, are they waiting up there for you or what?
Yeah, so there was police and fire crews at the bottom, which I didn't want that to be there. Like, they don't need to do that, but they, it is quite a serious thing, so I understand it. And then the police were in the building following me up, and then when I got to, I think it's the 75th floor where the viewing platform is, where it's the open air. There was officers there waiting, trying to get me to come in, and I just kept saying I'm okay. I think I actually said out loud, I'm okay, don't worry, I'm going to climb down after this, and I'll give myself up. And then past the viewing platform, there's the core of the building with the staircase that goes to the top. And there was one officer that was walking up sort of level with me the whole time. And yeah, he was just watching, seeing if I was okay. And then I got to the very top, which is probably 15 meters from the roof hatch on the 95th floor. I got my pictures and just enjoyed the view for a little bit. Came down, hatch was open, police maintenance guy was there. I came down and said hello, put my arms out, ready to get arrested. And then they took me in the lift all the way to the bottom and arrested me, and that was that. But the guy that arrested me, he said that he fucking loved it. He said he'd been an officer for however many years, and that's the best thing he'd ever seen. So yeah, respect to him. He's got at the end of the day, he has to do his job. He has to do his job. I'm technically in the wrong, so I can't really complain. I'm not gonna cry about being arrested.
You once told me that you're not afraid of dying. And the way you move, I mean, it definitely shows. But death isn't just part of your risk. It's now part of that tribute. When you think about your own mortality now, not in theory, but in those like real moments, mid-climb or now mid-jump, what does death feel like to you?
That's a big question. Well, when I was doing sort of the more reckless things, I was in a very, very bad place. And I think that was part of the reason why I was doing that, because I didn't really care about the consequences. But now I see things in a whole different way. So everything I do is, you mitigate, you sort of make things less likely to happen, and you put more effort into them. That being said, I understand what I'm doing is very, very dangerous, and that consequence is still there. But you can't do something without respecting that. And I understand that could happen. I don't want it to happen, but I am prepared for that to happen for what I'm doing. It's the same with any extreme sport, or even like F1 driving, or like the Isle of Man TT. Every single year someone dies at that race, and every single driver understands this, and they respect it, and they still go into it with the attitude that they're going to do it. So,
most people shoot film for like to be viral, right? I mean, you're shooting Polaroids, limited runs, like there's a few of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots from like 900 feet up, whatever. And it's kind of framed like poetry in a way. Your art feels really like it connects to you, and it takes us with you in a way. When did this become art for you? Like, are the Polaroids, the short films, like the visual language, are they about fans? Are they about fundraising for the cause? Or are they a way for you to almost turn fear into something artistic and beautiful in a way.
Well, what I used to have cameras and like proper cameras and drones and stuff, and I used to sort of prioritize getting the best content that I could. And then I wouldn't say bored of it. I just started to realize that the experiences that I was having I want to experience them instead of just, I still film and I still take pictures and stuff, but I do that a lot less. But with the Polaroids, it's very simple. You point the camera and you shoot, and whatever you get is whatever you get. And that's the beauty of it. Even if the picture's really dark, you can still see what it is, and it's still taken from the spot. But yeah, I for certain things, I want to get the best content that I possibly can because there's a bigger meaning behind it, and I want to display that properly so that people understand. But generally, I value the experience more, and I understand that what I'm doing is pretty rare if you think about how many people actually do it. So the reason why I started selling the Polaroids is because that's probably the closest a lot of people ever get to being in that situation, because it's the picture's taken on the spot and it's printed at the spot and it's been there. So that's like the closest people can get to it, and people value that more than just watching a video. So, yeah.
Remind me, where was this from? Does this one even look familiar? Is it too hard to see?
That's Skyper in Frankfurt. Yeah.
Crazy.
You got one
What
of the
was
best
that climb
ones.
like?
It was harder than I thought it would be. It's sort of, your feet are like inwards, not facing forwards. And the metal's actually kind of sharp. But yeah, no, I'm really glad that I got that done. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to jump off. Maybe this year or maybe next year. I'm not sure yet.
Craziest place you've ever slept after a climb?
Prison.
What about the train riding? Is that hard to do? Is it just crazy to do? Because do you feel like it's pulling you back? I've always seen, like, we see them in movies, like, but I mean, literally, you've got these videos where you're like on the train, ducking under tunnels. It's like, it's wild.
Train surfing is actually very easy, but you do have to plan out the route, and you need to make sure there's no cables overhead or bridges or anything like that. But I think if you do it right, it's very, very safe. It's very similar to just standing inside the train. Yes, you have the wind on you, but it's not blowing you back or anything. But the only difference is when you're stood in the train, you're on the bottom of the train, so that's more secure. But when you're on the top moves around a little bit, so it's a little bit more wobbly, but I think it's pretty safe. I don't recommend it to anyone. Yeah. That's one of the things that I do that I can't really justify, but it is safe if you do it right. I did it 2 days ago in Paris with 8 of us on top of the train, and it's fine. It's like it's just a fun thing that we do, you know.
And then what if a cop sees you?
Well, actually, the first time I ever did it in Paris, we didn't check the next stop to see if there were police, and there was, I think, 6 of us on the roof, and we got to the station, and there was 8 police officers, all with guns, on the platform, and everyone ran off in different directions. Some people went in between the train and just got on the train and left. Some people jumped off the train and ran through all the people. I jumped off the train, across the other tracks to the other platform, and everyone got away. So that's the only time that's really happened. I did do it another time during lockdown in Paris, when the city was really quiet, and I did it 3 times in a row, which I shouldn't have done, but I did it 3 times in a row, and I was going back for a third, and the police knew that I was going back, so they came and spoke to me, and that nothing happened from that.
Is there certain music that you like to play before, during? What are you talking to yourself? Obviously, you're kind of talking to the camera while you're filming it, but is there music that you like that like pumps you up beforehand?
Classical music, like Beethoven, Stuff. Listen to things like that when I climb, but when I like before the climb, I'll listen to more sort of like drum and bass or rap music, stuff like that, just to sort of get me in the mood in a way.
Yeah.
But then when I climb, it's all sort of relaxing violin stuff like that. So, yeah.
What about rock climbing? You ever like come out and do like Half Dome or something like at Yosemite?
I would
or,
love
I don't know.
to. So I was in California last year, trying to learn how to skydive, and I was like really close to Yosemite, but I couldn't go. But I definitely want to get into that. I need to start climbing outdoors more because I'm a bit of a gym rat. But yeah, I plan on doing free solo outside, so I need to start doing proper sport routes.
And what was that climbing wall you did?
Which one?
The big one that was closed?
I did the tallest artificial climbing wall in the world in Copenhagen, and I also did the tallest freestanding climbing wall in the world. At the time, it was the tallest in the world in the Netherlands. That's now been topped by one in Norway, I think.
And you did it while it was closed, right? Like you just got your way up there and did it, right?
Yeah, sunrise. So the one in Copenhagen, I'd climbed the building that it's attached to on the outside probably 2 years prior. But at the time, I didn't have any climbing shoes or chalk or anything like that, so I didn't do the wall. But then I thought, yeah, I need to do the wall, so I went back. The only problem I had with it is that the grades of the routes weren't listed at the bottom, because I remember the first time I went, all the routes were all listed and the grades were there. So I didn't know what I was climbing. So I didn't want to start a route that was out of my ability and then have to change routes. So I just chose one for each pitch and just sort of freeballed it a little bit, which annoyed me a little bit because it made it much easier. But I would like to go back and do a specific route, like the hardest of my ability.
If you're thinking like 5 years in advance, where do you see what you're doing and how it's evolved? Are we in the bird suit, or the flight suit, whatever you call it? I'm sorry. Are we in that, or where are we in 5 years, you think?
Well, I want to be wingsuiting in the next 2 years at least. But yeah, I want to be good at, long sport routes like Yosemite, stuff like that. And you can base jump in Yosemite as well, which will be good. And I want to do like sort of free base, which is free climbing without a rope and then jumping off. And Yosemite is very, very good for that as well.
Well, look, I always love catching up with you. We got to catch up after Project for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to come to America like September. There was a lot of guys from like New York and Boston and California who came this week in Paris. And a few of them are going to New York for 9/11 because the tower lights up and they're going to go on the rooftops next door. And I kind of want to see that because I'm sure it's good to see. So yeah, I'll see if I can make that work.
Cool. All right, man. Well, look, until then, I always just love chatting with you, connecting with you, supporting you however I can. So how can people who are listening to this, how can they learn more about you and support you, Adam?
Instagram's probably the biggest thing to see everything that I'm doing. That's where pretty much everything is, where you can see and you can send me a message or whatever. I've got YouTube as well.
Well, thanks again for the time. Thanks for being Up and Adam. As always, my man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, good to speak to you again.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, big thanks to Adam Lockwood, a.k.a. Nuisance, for joining me today and taking us into that razor-thin space between danger and purpose. Whether it's through his climbs, his pictures, or the message behind it all, he's doing more than defying gravity. He's asking us to feel something. You can follow Adam, support his work, Instagram at nuisance69_, also the same at nuisance69 on YouTube. We got links in the show notes at your fingertips. Check it out. And check out his videos. I mean, they will take your breath away. And Adam, next time you're back on solid ground, you've always got a spot here on Up and Adam, and I will say, we will be hearing from Adam again soon. I'm going to post a video or two from this chat, and in there you'll see some B-roll from his jumps, or his climbs/jumps, right? Just nuts. Unbelievable. All right, I want to thank our friends at the 41st Annual Central Coast Writers Conference. I'm so excited to be involved in this. End of the month, September 26th, 27th, I'm going to be hosting a workshop called The Art of the Interview. But if you've ever thought about writing that book, getting that memoir out, putting those thoughts together into pages, the theme of this year's Writers Conference will tell you everything you need to know. 2 words. It's time. And it is. It's true. This conference is stacked best-selling authors, screenwriters, editors, poets, publishers, 2 full days of workshops, readings, sessions, keynotes, creative energy you don't want to miss. Questa.edu/writers conference. It's in the show notes. Got your link there. Would love to see you in my workshop. Would just love to see you on campus that day for the 41st Annual Central Coast Writers Conference. All right, my thanks again to Adam Lockwood for joining us today and being Up and Adam. Thanks also to Moonshiner Collective, original music on the show called Start Again. Hear them wherever you get your music, stream them, and learn more at moonshinercollective.com. Our thanks to Josh and Chiasa at Timbre Winery. Timbre is how you spell it, timbrewinery.com. Taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande, and I thank them for giving us the Timbre Lobro Studios. And thanks to you for rating, reviewing, subscribing to the show wherever you listen to it. Sharing with a friend means a ton, really helps others discover the community here. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.